Hello basketball fans, this is Vlad, and in this video I'm going to show you why Morris Interfaces license is a must-have for every true motor. Each its single feature is listed here in this table, but let's take a look what each of them actually do. Let's launch RedMC first of all. As you can see, I have Morris Interfaces license registered and activated. So let's take a look. The first thing you'll notice is the recent files menu, which allows you to open any previously edited files with just a couple of clicks. So you don't have to mess with the open dialog, but just recent files and choose a file you'd like to edit. The second thing is that you can open multiple files at once, so let's open another file and edit them simultaneously. It's rather cool and convenient, so you can copy something from one file and then paste it into another file and save the changes, so it's rather convenient. But it's just the small part of the license. Let's move on. Another thing is dynamic linkage, which is disabled now because it works only with specific column types, namely colors and links. That's why it's called dynamic linkage. So let's go to the colors first. For example, themes tab, and what colors do we have here? Color 1 and color 2, both columns. As you can see, color codes are represented in default HTML notation, so it's RRGGBB, and it's hard to tell which code stands for which exact color. And of course, you'd like to know what color you're inputting, what color you're editing without any third-party programs. So with the Morris interfaces, this is possible. As you can see here, dynamic linkage is activated, so you can use it by any convenient method which suits you best, by whether using this menu or hotkey combination Ctrl plus G, or my favorite Ctrl plus left double click, mouse double click. Yes, so just let's hold Ctrl button and edit the color 1 for Milwaukee Bucks. Hold Ctrl button, double click, and voila, you have the color dialog displayed here, so you can visually choose any color you'd like. So let's say let it be orange, press OK button, and you see the color has changed. And yes, this is the new color. You can save the changes, and any color can be edited like this. Players tab, shoes colors can be edited like this as well. So it's the first point of dynamic linkage. Second one is to allow you easily navigate between the tabs which link to each other. So let's go to Teams tab again, roster. So we have numbers here, but for example we want to edit Celtics small forward who has ID 75. Hold the Ctrl button, double click here, and voila, you are redirected to players tab, and Paul Pierce is a starting small forward for Celtics in this 2K official latest roster I have here, so you can edit whatever you want. Go back to Teams tab and hold Ctrl button, double click on Lakers power forward Paul Gasol and edit him. So you see it's an easy navigation. It can be applied not only to team's roster, but for example, let's find arena ID, arena number 17 for Brooklyn Nets. Control, I can use Control plus G hotkey, and here we are looking at the Barclays Center. So you can also do it from the players tab. So status, we have team ID 1, team ID 2. Let's go down, something like Rudy Gay is on team with ID 21. Let's Ctrl plus double click, and here we are, Toronto Raptors with ID 21. The second part of this dynamic linkage as you can see here, is go back, which can be activated by this hotkey combination. So imagine you are editing Celtics roster, not Celtics roster, but anything you are editing, anything related with Team Steps. With Team Step, you use it to navigate to Player Step. So, for example, power forward of Bulls, Control plus double click, and you go to Boozer, and then you can use this hotkey combination go back, and you go back exactly to the place you went to the player step from. So you don't need to search these players and search where the teams tab activated, just Control plus Alt plus G and you go here. Then you can, for example, you are interested in editing substitution, one of the substitutions of Cavaliers, so Control plus double click, Kevin Jones, okay, and go back here. So you can see dynamic linkage is quite a useful thing to easily navigate in your roster and easily edit colors. Let's go on what it has next. Features auto backup, and auto backup is useful when you do multiple edits, and so you don't need to backup your files every time. You just edit something, don't forget to save regularly, and all your backups will be stored. For example, let's take a look on the options. So here is the path and some incorrect path. Let's use a more simple one, disk C and backups. And path is the path where your backups will be stored, and max size when the total size of all your backups exceeds this value, 100 megabytes in this case, all the backups will be automatically removed, so your hard drive won't be garbaged. You can edit whatever you like. Okay, and let's activate it and enable. So yeah, it's enabled. Let's save the roster now, and let's check it out. My computer, disk C, backups, and here we see this. This is our backup roster. If something has happened, if we made a unwanted edit, so we can always rename this back to ROS and use this backup. So as you can see here, it's the actual roster of the actual file name, then the file extension, and the date and time the backup was made. So auto backup is a useful feature, so if we save it again and again, we'll see more files here, more backups. So the first one and the two other files, so on each save a new backup is created. Let's move on to even more interesting things like raw filters and global editor, which can be used in pair. So let's take a look on the filter system. It's blank now here, and players, yeah, I have created two files previously, two filters previously, but let's take a look how it works. For example, we want to filter several specific players. So you create a new filter, test one, for example. What do we want to do here? Let's filter point guards who have steal attribute more than 90. No, more than 80, okay. Okay, so we select pause, and here we can choose whether equal, not equal, greater, greater or equal, less, less or equal. This contains and this contains non-case sensitive, probably. To be honest, I don't remember exactly which of them do what. We are interested in equal to 0 or 5. Let's take a look. Pause 0, yes. Test 1, pause equal to 0. So add, and another one, skill steal is greater or equal to 80, and apply after saving. So if this is checked when we click OK button, it will apply the filter immediately. So here are the guys, the true stealers Okay, so we see them here, and the other guys got filtered, so you can see the IDs aren't in a line, so they have breaks between them. You can edit these people, then you can deactivate this, and you'll get all the players back. So let's activate it. And let's do something more advanced. For example, we want to have not only point guards who have steal more than 80, but also point guards who have pass attribute greater or equal to 85. This is why there is OR here. By default, each of these is separated with AND, so only records players in this case, so only players who satisfy all of these conditions will be shown. And we can add OR after that to have OR not AND between them, and as pass greater or equal to 85 add. So we have OR here, and in this case we will have point guards who have steal more than 80, and also point guards who have pass more or equal to 85. Let's press OK, and you see we have Drew Holiday back here. Although he has a small steal skill, he has an excellent passing skill, and so he has appeared here as well. We can add several filters, for example test to, and let's say we wanna players with wherever do we want. Hey guys, help me please, come on. Okay, somebody with don't okay, loyalty with guys who are rather loyal, so loyalty more than 60. It's a simple filter, and voila, here you can see the we have both these filters applied. We can disable the first one, and so it's just those loyal guys, and enable, and loyal point guards who have good steal and passing skills. Let's review. You can use whatever combination of filters here. Only records who satisfy all the filters will be shown here. You can edit filter, add whatever parameters you want, add a filter, and then you can use OR to show the records who satisfy whether these conditions or these conditions. You can also move up, move down, delete if you want, and so on. Let's continue with the global editor, another powerful feature which is included into Morris Interfaces license. So global editor, let's make some simple edit with it. For example, let's make everybody left-handed. To do this, we just choose hand column, and new value is 0, which equals to left hand, and then press apply button, and as you can see here we have every player left-handed. Okay, it's easy and can be applied to any other column. You can also make everybody named O'Neill, for example. Just press apply, and the whole column for everybody will change for to this value. But let's make some more advanced edit. For example, I want to make NBA back to school mode, and so let's select hate and reduce everybody's hate by 40%. It is simple, so we just input minus 40%. And hate will be reduced by 40%. But I would also like to show you how limiter and normalize work. So minus 40%, it will simply decrease this column by 40%, and that's all. Limiter limits the maximum or minimum value. So if we use minus here, then we limit the minimum value. You know, too short kids don't play basketball. So let's limit it to 1 meter and 20 centimeters at least. Oh no, too small. 1 meter and 40 centimeters. So what this does? This will reduce height of each player by 40%, but if we eventually get a player to be smaller than 1 meter and 40 centimeters, then his height will be set to 140 centimeters and normalize. If we check it, if we don't check it, then guys who originally are smaller than this value, their height won't be affected. But if we check normalize, then their height will be set will be increased to 140. So again, short. Minus 40% means the height will be reduced by 40%. 140 means that if we have eventually a player smaller than 140, his height will be set to 140. And let's check normalize. So originally small guys will grow to 140 and press apply, and you see here, oh, we had too small height, I believe. Let's close it without saving. So let's reopen the file to Keyofficial, our favorite roster, and what will we use here? Reduce by 25%, limit to 130 and normalize. Click apply, and what we see here is that guys' height got reduced by 25%, so they're back to school, and Maxi Box and Earl Boykins Spud Webb got their height limited by 130, so they didn't become smaller. What else can be done here? So we have back to school mode, and so of course our players can't jump very well, can't dunk very well because they are still small guys. Let's find I can't do this way. As dunk, where is it? Where is this dunk? As block, as dunk. Okay, so let's reduce the dunk by 30, not 30%. Apply, and we see the player's dunk got reduced. So what we can enter here, how we can use global editor is select the columns we wanna edit. If you enter just some value, the value will be applied to everybody. If we use plus, it will be added. If we use minus, it will be reduced. And we can also use minus 25%, plus 25%, whatever. We can also limit it so it doesn't go out of bounds. It will be set to maximum or minimum value if it's too big or too small. And we can normalize, so guys who are originally out of bounds will be forced to be in these bounds. This is how global editor is used. The other interesting thing is that global editor can be combined with filters. So if we apply it to our sample filters and then global edit, for example, let's increase everybody's weight by 150% without limiting it. So you see here we are, and if we press apply, this change will be applied only to the filtered guys, only to the guys who are shown, and those who were filtered out, they won't be affected. So let's press apply. You see we have extra heavy schoolboys here, and if we disable those filters, so other guys weren't affected. Hooray! And the last but not the least feature to show you, which is included into the Morris Interfaces package, is filter and view on my friend panel. So where is it used? For example, you use teams, roster, and if you have both My Friend panel and Morris interfaces licenses, you get this beautiful filter and view button. Click on filter and view and you'll get filtered only those players who are on this exact team. So if you select, for example, Utah Jazz, filter and view, and only Jazz players are listed here and nobody else. Click on another tab, go back to this tab, and everybody is listed here again. So now you see why Morris interfaces is such an interesting and a must-have thing for every true modder. You can easily open previously edited files with it. You can use dynamic linkage to easily edit colors or navigate through the roster. You can filter players, filter teams, filter whatever you want, then apply global edits to the filtered items. You can use our backup so you won't need to create manual backups, and you will always have your most relevant roster backup ready if you do a mistake. After that, you can easily filter and view on My Friend panel. So for example, Steph filter and view, and only Steph of 76ers is here. And you can of course open more than one file at once, which is very useful. So I hope you'll enjoy using all the power of different features RedMC offers, and join me back in other videos. Take care.